Hi, today we are going to install DINGO-Stack on a Raspberry Pi based platform. Here I have a PuTTY terminal via SSH to the Raspberry Pi based platform, and I start by logging in. And the default password. Okay, Raspbian is the default password. Oops. Raspberry is it? Okay, finally. So we are in. Sorry, the install of the DINGO-Stack is pretty similar to a well-known application used in the Raspberry Pi platform called dingo-config. We have a dingo-config, and it's a little bit complex text, but it is always on. It is always on a label that comes with your Dingo when you unpack it. So you just put that in or keep it somewhere and paste it in. So here it is. That's the path to make the install, and we start that one. So we get into this installation configuration utility, and we can do different things here: install software, upgrade software. We can configure the network, some advanced settings like this, and more stuff. And we can even go into Raspberry config. What I'm going to do here is to use the installation wizard. We can install individual modules if we want, but this time I'm going to use the install wizard. So let's go there, and it says it is recommended to start by changing the password, hostname, enable SSH, SPI, and I2C. This can be done by going back and into Raspberry config. Continue the next step. As we are installing on Dingo with a Raspberry Pi COM module installed, it's vital to enable both the SPI and I2C interface. Otherwise, if it was just on a normal standard Raspberry Pi, you don't normally need to do that. Okay, continue to next step. No, we are going back and going to do this, change the password, the hostname, and enable those items there. So SSH is already enabled. No, we go to back and we go to Raspberry config. Okay, we change the hostname. Oh, the hostname is sorry, I'm going to change the password first. Okay, let's put it to something sensible that nobody else knows. It's important to change it, because if you leave it with a default password and network connected, someone can go in and hack it. So it's a good practice to change the password. So I'm going to change it here to something. Okay. That's done. Let's change the interfacing options. SPI, put it on. Okay, that's done. And I2C on. Okay, good. So we are done in Raspbian, in Raspberry config, and we go out of Raspberry config, back to dingo-config, and now we go into install software, and we are going to use the the wizard this time. Okay, we have done all that, isn't it? Enable SSH, hostname. Well, hostname. Let's change the hostname to. That's probably in. Back. Set hostname, and please no blah blah blah. There's some warning here. So we change it from Raspberry to my. Just let it say Dingo. dingo-PyCom. And it's actually on a COM1 module, this box, so we do it like that. Okay, that's done. And then let's go back, install software, install wizard, continue to next step, yes please. Do you want to install DINGO-Stack? Yes please. So then it starts actually the sudo apt-get install blah blah blah, quite a heavy procedure, but as you're doing this from the wizard, it's a no-brainer to do this. So let's wait for the DINGO-Stack to install. So it's finished with DINGO-Stack. DINGO-Stack networking. The DINGO-Stack includes a quite powerful utility for configuring the network, doing it in a user interface in Dingo Manager, quite easy to use. So yes, we are definitely going to do that. So there we start that one. Okay, what is your current primary internet connection? That's Ethernet. In this case, we are not running a Raspberry Pi Zero. We are running a Raspberry Pi COM module with Ethernet. This time it's the variant with only one Ethernet connector. There is a second one with two. So no. Okay. That's fine. Do you want to set internet interface? No. You don't. Do you want to install DINGO-Stack LCD? The internet interface, by the way, is if you have, for example, a GSM plugin in the Dingo, you would go through that configuration to set that up. Do you want to install DINGO-Stack LCD? Yes, in this case we have a user interface board on our Dingo with LEDs and a small LCD screen. So yes, we want to put that, to install that part too. Okay, we are done with that one. Do you want to set up hardware clock? As the Dingo has a hardware clock included, that's what the standard Raspberry Pi has not. We are installing on Dingo. We want the hardware clock set up. Yes, please do. Okay, we're done with that. Do you want to install FTP client? The FTP client, well, it's quite convenient to have an FTP client, so let's take that too. It's also important if we are going to upgrade via FTP, as I will show you afterwards. Okay, that's done. Do you want to install OpenPort? In this case, we are not going to install OpenPort. We don't need it, but please refer to our website for how important and powerful OpenPort can be in some scenarios, in particular behind firewalls. So we are done here. We have installed actually everything we need, so we go back and we want to upgrade. If the install packets are not the totally newest one, let's do some upgrade. Okay, upgrade DINGO-Stack itself. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, and the DINGO-Stack LCD, we installed that before, so let's be sure and upgrade to the latest version. Okay, so thereby we are actually finished, and can simply reboot the Dingo to see the effects. Let's reboot it and see how it looks like after the reboot. Okay, here we have the Dingo just restarted, and on side of that we have my mobile phone that I'm going to use to check it out. We see that the carousel is rolling on the LCD display, and we have the Ethernet out here, of course, and here I have some wire to connect to the ground to one of the binary inputs for testing the binary inputs. So let's first test the binary inputs and see if we get the LEDs glowing there. So all of those are BACnet objects, as we will see afterwards. So let's try number 1. Yeah, LED 1 is working, number 2 is working, number 3 is working, and number 4 is working. Those are the 4 dry contact inputs, binary inputs. The rest of the binary inputs are wet. We are not going to test those. So let's test it from a BACnet client. Turn on the mobile, and we go into the back move. It's a very simple freeware, a BACnet browser for Android. And I open a network. I refresh the device list. There is only one device on this network. It's this Dingo. So we go in there, and there we see the device object and 1, 2, 3, 4 binary inputs all set on. So for example, if I take this one and put it on like that, oops, like that, okay, it's on, and I read again, then it's 0. So this client is not it has no co-availability, so we have to poll. But the binary inputs are actually co-inputs, so if the co was enabled in the client, we would see the changes immediately there. Okay, let's go to one of the relays. The relay status is shown down here, relay 1 and relay 2. Relay 1 is on, and relay 2 is off by default. So let's try to write something to this relay. It's currently on, so we try to make it inactive at priority 8. That's the BACnet specifics. It's off. The same, and if I refresh the list here, it's off. If I take relay 2, write to it active. Okay, everything is fine. The Dingo is working fine after our install of the DINGO-Stack. The only thing I had to do before getting this running was to enable the DINGO-Stack licenses, and after that the default is actually running. So that's it, folks, for the installation of DINGO-Stack and how it works afterwards. Thank you.